Behold, a cold open.
Tom, I've been thinking a lot about our discovery that giants are real.
They're so real, dude. The evidence is airtight. We saw a post from a lady we don't know who said that someone that we also don't know on TikTok saw a giant. And now they're dead as a result of that forbidden knowledge.
Yeah, I guess that's my problem. Like, at the time, I thought our detective work was top-notch for sure, but I began to have some doubts the more I thought about it.
Wait, are you saying that lady on the internet that we, again, do not know at all, Divine Brienne, are you saying that she may have been lying?
Yes. Or rather, I did think that until I found some shit that's gonna blow this case wide open. Here, I'm putting it in the stupid fucking Discord chat.
Okay, let me... I got it. I don't want to be an asshole, but I gotta say I'm confused. I think you sent the wrong thing. You may have not hit Control C when you thought you did. This is a job posting to a consultant job. It looks like. Are we doing Cog Talk? I'm getting scrambled up here. Can we start over and just
read it? Read it.
Okay. But prominent in sector management consulting for seeking professionals with one she experienced market the professional management consulting services. This seems like a job description, man.
Look at the ideal candidate section.
Why didn't you tell me to start there?
Because you get pissed this way. Anyway, keep going.
Okay. Ideal candidate. Our ideal candidate has extensive experience tracking and removing people who get too close to the truth. Holy shit, that's fucked up. Nothing about giants, though. Oh, God. Oh, Joe, actually, look at this next bullet point. The truth is about giants and people wanting to have sex with them.
Bingo. And look where this job is located. Fucking Langley, Virginia. You know what that means, right? This goes all the way to the top, and... Oh, did you finish Final Fantasy IX?
Yeah, it was pretty good. The final boss was kind of dumb, but by the end, Steiner and Freya were both doing 9999 every turn.
Oh, it's the best one.
It's really good. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Anime Sickos. It's the podcast for geniuses and the only podcast where we take a look at the four pillars of modern misery: anime, gaming, posting, and jobs. I am Tom, an anime sicko.
I am Joe, an anime sicko.
We have 3 new patrons who gave us money on our Patreon. What cool guys.
I'm ready to grovel. Let's hear some names.
Well, is this even a name? This is an organization. This is an entity, Joe. Our first patron is Back Row Cineblog.
That's cool. Is that our first organization?
I think so. I think everyone else has been individuals as far as I'm concerned. Back Row Cineblog might be written by an individual. However, it is not the author who is patronizing us. It is the blog itself. So thank you, blog.
Thank you, blog. And it's good to know that there are still blogs.
Yeah. Our next patron is going to be Carlo V. Carlo V was called out by Minovsky as a sicko fan who translated Paper AQ into English, which is that's dope, but not nearly as cool as giving us $5.
Yeah. Do you have that you gave us $5 on your CV?
You should. Very few people have done it. You're in a very elite club. There's fewer people who've given us $5 than there are billionaires. So, I mean, take that as you will. And then our final new patron, this is going to be Ryan Wagahoff, or possibly Wagahoff. I don't know if it's an A or an A on that first day. Ryan Wagahoff.
I'm going to go with a really nasally A,
Wah.
just because of, Chicago.
Chicago, baby.
Chicago.
Love the Mets. Anytime I do a voice about someone loving a city, I just say love the Mets. Doesn't matter
I
what
know.
city.
It's Philly. You know who loves the Mets? Philly. You know who loves the Met? Any city. Fucking doesn't matter. Boston loves the Mets.
They all... Boston. Boston's Boston's like a parody city. Like, are you kidding? Anyway, that's our new patrons for this week. You can patronize us at patreon.com/animesickos, or you can continue to listen for free. Joe, I saw a post. You saw it as well. And it made me feel ill. I'm going to read it and use it as a representative example of a larger theme that we're going to discuss in the rest of the episode. This is a post from a man named Gaurav Munjal. His bio on Twitter says, next level, graphy, cohesive, Unicademy, and Prep Ladder. These are a bunch of really good companies, probably.
I should put words like that in my bio. Just like Chrono Trigger, Synergy,
Saga Frontier,
debuffs. Yeah.
Anyway, so Gaurav has said, imagine if every book is converted into an animated book and made 10 times more engaging. AI will do this. Huge opportunity here to disrupt.
Will do this. It's fucking settled.
Yeah, it is. There is no doubt that AI will make every book 10 times more engaging by converting it into an animated book. If he's saying, like, turn novels into manga, I can't. Under no circumstances do you have to hand it to ISIS. If I hand it to him, it's going to change the whole tenor of the rest of the episode. But for a second, I was tempted by, like, the Moby Dick manga made by AI.
If he meant that, he wrote it in the worst way.
Yeah. And also, I have to remember the manga Hamlet I had to read for my fucking capstone class in college, which was
that cost like effectively like $10,000.
Yeah, it was just like, this was poorly done. Anyway, AI will do this. Huge opportunity here to disrupt Kindle and Audible. Now, Gaurav, I gotta tell you, has a blue check, and let me just do it. Let me do the okay. It's a legacy. Yeah, it's right? A legacy blue check. If he was one of the fucking buy a blue check, then I would like be ill. But okay.
I do really like that there is a new like replying with your profile face move, but it's just this user has purchased Twitter Blue.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that. That's fun.
It is very fun. Anyway, some rando guy responds to Gaurav saying, add metaverse feature. No, read the book. Live the book. To which Gaurav responds, sounds amazing. Now, folks,
like when they imagine these things, like what picture forms in their head? Like when you say a book is 10 times more engaging, close your eyes, Tom.
Yeah.
To me, the only thing I can imagine is the book is flapping around like a bird.
Yeah, animated.
Yeah. So what the fuck does this mean? More
AI
engaging.
will do.
It means there's going to be ads.
I mean, the thing is, like, from a very specific, like, if we're just looking at this example as the whole of it, when this kind of person says books, they're talking like business genius, the anti-woke path to profit. Like, that's what a book is to them. So, like, putting on a metaverse helmet and, like, having a fucking avatar tell you, like, don't bullshit the client. Like, having it say that instead of you having to read a line of text is, like, astonishingly better to them.
It is astonishing to me that the replier who is like, add the metaverse, that there are still metaverse bulls. Like, it is so completely, like, shit the bed.
Yeah, like, I think it's very clear to all but the stupidest and most blinkered fools that the metaverse is a dead-in-the-water product that will never be adopted because it is terrible.
Because it looks like the Xbox 360 Avatar guys.
Yeah.
But you could get fired.
Yeah. You could get fired by a legless fucking Bitmoji of your boss. I just also love that the metaverse is like, hello, folks. You know how when you go to work, you strap some shit on you head? It's like, I don't want to do that. Like, well, you're going to have to strap some shit on you head. Like, I've played with Kevin's VR helmet, like, to play video games. And it's fun. It's novel. But after, like, 45 minutes, I'm like, my head hurt. Also gonna puke. And, like, I'm done for a while. Not something I want to work all day on. Anyway, this stupid shit with the book. So the thing about this is, like, these guys are gonna win, and this is gonna happen to all books.
Yeah.
And you may, if you are a person who reads books other than Business Genius, The Anti-Woke Path to Profit, you may see that this is basically gutting the soul out of literature itself and making art as a concept.
It is destroying the potential of words and paper.
Yes. This is why we decided to read this at the top, because this, to me, is a real clear example of the concept of shittification, which we will later explain is happening now, like, more than ever. Like, it's been happening for a long time, but, like, it's in a real, like, red alert stage at the moment. Shittification is pretty self-explanatory that it's when shit gets worse. But it's not just that. Because, like, shit can get worse. Like, Joe, you remember how there was that span of time where every video game was a green and brown third-person cover-based shooter?
No, I'm very colorblind.
Well, okay. Remember how there were cover-based shooters of indeterminate color?
Yeah. Gears of Grey War.
That was, like, the only game that they were making. And it was pretty bad, but that wasn't shittification, because that was just a trend. And trends come and go, and eventually they made other types of games again. And they did make Yakuza 7. So, like, games did get better. Yeah. And even, like, better than they used to be, because Yakuza 7 is one of the best games of all time. Shittification is different, because when something becomes shittified, not only does it become worse, but the process of becoming worse drags the ceiling down with it, preventing things from ever again reaching the quality they were once capable of.
Correct. Have you ever been in an apartment that had water damage from above and it bubbles and bursts, and then you know in your heart of hearts that that's never getting fixed in, like, a good way? That is shittification. If you've ever had a good manager at work, and then they leave, or they're fired for being good, or having, like, a soul.
Yeah.
That's shittification, because your experience at work will never get better than how it was.
Say part of your team gets laid off, even if you don't, you stay on. But, like, now there's, only 2/3 as many people doing the work, which means shit is worse for you. Plus, you now know that layoffs are on the table for you, so you're never going to be secure again. You're never going to be able to believe anything anyone above you says, because they might be telling the truth as far as they know, but it doesn't matter, because it just could happen.
They get made a liar because someone above said cut.
Like, remember when Amazon was like a weird new thing? It was like, oh, Amazon, you can buy stuff online. I remember when I got the fucking student Prime, when Prime was free to students in our college years. I got that, and I was like, wow, you telling me I can buy a CD?
That made college worth it. That was such a good deal. I think we came out ahead.
But now Amazon is this omnipotent hell company that kills most of its fucking employees. It also sells the cop doorbell.
Yes, and people love it. People love the Ring doorbell. I've seen those posts of, like, people, like, communicating through it to the delivery person and, like, making them dance, and it makes me, like, want to, like, just be ill in a real ill way.
It's very shittifying, because even if you as a person are like, I will opt out of Ring doorbells, I will opt out of Amazon, it doesn't matter. Jeff Bezos still gets to do everything he wants. He won. The things have become shittified. Fucking the CTA, the train, Joe, you ever been on the train?
Yeah, Winnie and I went downtown to go to the MCA, Museum of Contemporary Art. The ride there was, like, on paper, like, not a complicated route. We were taking the blue line into the loop, switching over to red, and then getting off at the Chicago stop where the fun McDonald's is. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to go to the museum.
Yeah, easy.
Like, took forever to get a train. Every car had people just smoking in it. When we transferred, there was human shit. Mm-hmm. And then we were stuck waiting for the other red line forever. And like, this is not like at a weird time. This was like the equivalent of like peak hours for a weekend.
Yeah, I recall one time, me and my wife were considering making a trip downtown on the Blue Line. And I saw a post by some transit watchdog guy saying something to the effect of, currently, there are 7 trains active on the entire Blue Line.
Yeah.
If you're not from Chicago,
the
that's
Blue Line
too
is massive. Like, the Blue Line goes from Forest Park east into the city and then diagonally northwest in a very strange way. It's just so many miles of track.
It's an incredibly long and in use line. Like, it's so popular. It is one of the more
It's how you get
used.
from the airport, or the nice airport.
Yeah. And so they just deleted the CTA. They just decided to not do it anymore. A lot of it was because of an airborne virus, which made a lot of the operators be dead. But other than that, it's the management of the CTA deciding we don't need to do really anything to fix that, to undo that.
There's no urgency. Winnie watched the first mayoral forum. I didn't really want to watch it. My only thing was like, did they talk about the trains?
Yeah.
And they did not. It was all cop stuff about how you should either have way more cops or more cops.
Yeah, the fucking... If they ever do ask a CTA question, I guarantee it's going to be like, candidates, as we all know, the CTA is infested with the evil homeless. How many cops should we hire to patrol the train and kill them? And fucking Chewie is going to be like, I believe we should hire many cops, and everyone's going to be like, God damn it, Chewie. Fucking... It's shittification. Shittification. It's happening everywhere. It's been happening all of our lives.
I really hope this one is a fixable one and not a true shittification, because I think I'm more invested in having reliable transport in my city than I am, like, for the country's arc. Like, I don't care about it at all.
Like, the fact, like, just the fact that in very real terms, if you need to get somewhere, like, in a reliable way, if you need to know when things were going to happen, you cannot rely on public transit in Chicago. Like, you may get lucky and get there on time, but, like, you don't know. And you can't know because they don't tell you the fucking schedule. They just tell you the schedule that they came up with years ago and don't fulfill.
And pretend that it's like, yeah, it's happening.
Yeah. So currently there's there's a very powerful and concentrated shittification event that is being forced upon us. For me, I see 2 prongs, two wings of the shittification event that intertwine with each other. Each one makes the other stronger so that they're more than the sum of their parts. Prong 1, as we discussed with fucking Gaurav, the big push for AI content generation, image generation AI, fucking text generation AI. They all love AI. They're so hyped about AI. You can't stop hearing about AI.
They notably don't care about the quality of what it outputs. They're like just, you know, in Detroiters when the guy made a car that shits.
Yeah.
Like, they're excited about the shit.
Yeah, we'll get to that. The second prong is the massive countrywide layoffs, Joe. It's all the huge amount of people losing their jobs. This is you'll notice this is happening both in the media and in tech in general. I've made a joke in the past that if you're a games journalist, you cannot actually have a job. All you can have is a layoff in development. And it really seems like it's reached the sort of end point where like there's no blog left for whom the layoffs are pending. So all those people there's just nothing left. There's just no more.
Well, whenever there's big media layoffs and everyone does the polite and cool thing to do to boost this person, it's also just like, this is musical chairs, man, and they just keep taking away more chairs.
Yeah. It is, I'm seeing this shit, Joe, and, there's just one thing that keeps coming to mind, especially with, another shittification event that is occurring, is that they're just making food cost more now.
Yeah. Yes. Jars of stuff for $10. I don't know why certain things, but you will run into a $10 jar.
Yeah. And I think the big one everyone's yelling about is eggs, especially because, like, there is inflation and there was a bird flu scare that required a cull of a lot of chickens.
But all that is just covered a price gouge.
Yes, that's the thing. They just it's one of those things where like do they not know we can see their profit? Like their profits they have to report them, and we know that they're going up, which would
money is falling out of them.
It's that fucking Simpsons bit where Mr. Burns says he can't pay you, I'm strapped for cash, and the ceiling breaks and a big pile of gold falls on him and a crown lands on his head. All this shit is happening. And you just gotta wonder, don't they see the issue here? Like, surely you see what the problem is. Like, you take employment away from people when, now more than ever, employment is necessary to avoid homelessness. And also, homelessness is super illegal. And also, most people have been convinced that homeless people are not human beings, but instead a purple goo that oozes out of a rift from the hell dimension, and thus a witcher must kill it with his silver sword.
I'm always shocked when I would be in like sort of public company and people just like openly express disgust, and it's just like, holy shit. I don't know.
It's hard to, like, that's another shittification fucking nexus point. It's just like, you can't talk to people about, like, what can we do to serve homeless people? Like, how can we house the houseless? Because to a lot of people, the term house the houseless, what you may as well be saying, house the evil purple goo that bubbled up from hell. And it's like, I don't want to put evil purple goo in a house. It'll make the house dirty.
We're going to give the most valuable thing to the most quote-unquote undeserving. I don't think this clearly. But, like, that's the framing.
Yeah, it's quite bad. But, like, surely you see, like, you take away, especially with people in media, like, you take away all their jobs. The skills they have no longer are able to get jobs because, one, there aren't any more jobs left. You've removed them all. And also, you're jumping for joy, salivating at this stupid tool that's going to replace the need for humans to do this labor. And it's just like, don't you see?
To sort of reinforce another shittification on that same vector, the pivot to video move was just a total reduction of jobs.
Yes. And in pure shittification fashion, it, like, there was no upside. Like, again, the whole reason anyone pivoted to video is because Facebook told them a lie. They basically, like, you're gonna, it's like there's fairy gold in the video hills, and it's easy to get. And then, like, 3 years later, it's like, we regret to inform you that there was never any fairy gold in the hills. Yeah. And it's like, oh, well.
All the metrics were useless. How many livelihoods were ruined because people got laid off as a result of... I don't even know what the goal... I mean, the goal was to get more people pushing video content on Facebook. That was the goal.
Yeah. And, yeah, great. Facebook fucking sucks. That's another shittification, is just Facebook becoming a thing that you could do.
Yeah, I think the patient zero moment for that is when it stopped being only available to college people and became available for everybody.
Yeah. I think it's very funny how like that's a common thing in like all communities, all online communities that is. Once you really open it up and like it is for everyone, it will always devolve into like it is for fascist uncles. Like it just always goes down to that. Because I mean, if fascist uncles are allowed in, they're going to come in, and then now the place is shittified because every third guy is going to be like, you hear about Brandon? And like, you don't even know that that's funny. You don't even know you're telling a joke when you call him Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon is very funny. Everyone who has power over me is a Brandon. Like yes. Bernie is considering a run for Brandon.
President Brandon Obama.
Brandon like, Hussein for Obama.
Do you think you might get a raise this year? Brandon has to approve it, but we'll see.
Yeah, they caught lightning in a bottle with that.
Yeah, they did. But they don't even know is the thing. Okay, so shittification. I keep coming to, like, don't you see that this is a problem? Like, you see the problem, right? Like, it used to be, Joe, I saw someone talking about this online, and it blew my mind. It used to be that when in a movie or a book or a show, there was, like, a down-and-out drunk character. Like a real ne'er-do-well, no prospects, just swirling around the drain. The issue was them finding booze money, not paying rent, and this is especially astonishing to be reminded of. When if you go online on the posts, you'll see lots of viral videos of someone in New York City filming a literal closet that is called an apartment that has one toilet down the hall shared with 4 other little closets. And each one of these little closets costs over $2,000 a month. And it's just like, I feel like there's going to be an issue here. Like, how did they not see the problem?
Well, this is a question I think people have been thinking since the beginning of time, which is, how much can you cut before you hit bone? And then, I don't know. Current trends suggest they will just keep cutting through the bone, and it'll be fine for them.
Yeah, like I think about this, and I'm like, these people who are making these decisions, like, you must realize that even if you make money now, like, there are a lot of other people. Honestly, statistically, it's mostly other people by like a pretty big margin. There's who you're just the futures of whom you're just deleting. And like, surely you see this comes to a bad end for you too. Surely you know that even if you consider yourself outside and above society, like you're only above because there is a platform below you holding you up. Like, surely you see the problem. It's like, how does this shittification event is so like astonishing in its speed and ambition that I'm like, I just don't get how it's being justified, and like how the decisions that are being made to make it happen like are being decided, because it's so fucking dumb. And Joe, honestly, I'm about to really become vulnerable and go to a dark place. I read the fucking David Graeber debt book, The Freaks One.
You read Theory?
They made me do it. I gave in and I read Theory, and I find it useful to apply it to current events. I feel like such a fraud.
Yeah, it was like a big book too, you fucking nerd.
It was. You know the reason why is because Erica Dreisbach gave it to me ages ago, pre-pandemic. And I found it again because I was like, what's a book my dad might like for Christmas? And I'm like, oh, he would love that fucking debt book. I should read it first to make sure it's actually any good. And then as I was reading it, I realized that there was a picture of Erica's husband, Vlad, looking cute on vacation in the book. And I'm like, well, I gotta give that back. And so I had to read the whole book so that I could give the book back. And so actually I didn't give in, and I will never read Theory unless you put a picture of Vlad in there. Anyway, So, in this fucking book, they talk about this kind of shit. And I'm going to use the example that Graeber used as a sort of representative example of this kind of shit. Where specifically, it's like, don't you know that the line of action you're taking is like hyper destructive and ruinous? Like, why would you ever decide that? Because like how it's not a constant throughout human history that hyper evil resource extraction to the exclusion of all other concerns. Like, that's not a constant. There have been times where people didn't do that. Like, even empires, even colonizing empires can take over countries and colonize them and like not delete them, not genocide them. Like, a lot of the times they take over a country or a people with war. That's pretty bad. And then once they're taken over, it's like, all right, now you guys are in the group.
I know this because you can do it in video games.
You can.
When you take over a place in Civ, you get to make that choice, which is like pointless destruction and razing, or party on.
And the thing is, yeah, you'd think like party on would be the thing people would go with, probably. Because like few people love genocide just because.
Like, on its merits.
Yeah. So why does it happen? Like, why in the New World were so many of the colonizers just like insane genociders? And the example that Graeber uses is Hernan Cortez, the Spanish conquistador. You probably heard of this fucker.
Yeah, he's valorized as like he inspired his men by burning his boats and shit like that.
Yeah. He's an evil guy. I'm not going to get too into it, but imagine all the things that one could do that are evil when one is a colonizer. He did them all. Why'd he do that? Didn't need to. He chose to. Why'd he do that? And what Graeber...
Because he was like above and beyond in cruelty. Like people back in Spain were like, Jesus.
Yeah, like, oh fuck, like I knew you were gonna exploit and steal from these people, but like, come on, like we still go to church, you fucker. The reason was Cortez was insanely in debt on account of he's a dumbass. He did the medieval fucking equivalent of buying a ton of lifted F-150s and had no money and was very in debt. And the thing about being deeply in debt is that it is an insane crisis that envelops all of existence. You are no longer able to engage in morality. Morality is a pursuit for the privileged few who are not in insane crisis debt. The only thing that matters, the only thing that weighs into your decision making is what will help me address the debt ASAP.
Or kick the can a little bit further.
Exactly. So the fact that like, oh, I'm deleting a civilization forever, that's probably bad, but it doesn't matter. I'm not in a position to weigh that into my decision-making process because I'm in the insane crisis and I need right now the fucking gold that they got. And working them all to death and then having no more Aztecs left is fine by me because I'll get the gold. It's very fucking dumb. And like, again, you said like Spain was like, oh, this is fuck, you're going over the edge. Thing is, they're in debt too, so they're not in a position to be like, you're in jail for a crime, Cortez. They're like, I guess we need that gold. The funny thing about him, I'm going to get off the Cortez bit, but the real punchline is that he never got out of debt. He was in debt forever.
He forever changed the face of the planet, just erasing a culture from existence almost, so single-handedly. And he didn't even fucking get debt free. He
never paid off his F-150.
What is it? What is the medieval equivalent of it? To me, I'm thinking it's a trebuchet.
Yeah. Fuck. I mean, it might just be like fancy clothes. Like back in the day, you could have like fancy clothes and like having like a blue cloth. People would
cry when they see you.
Like, are you telling me You saw a blue cloth today? Like, what are you talking about? Like, if you had told me you had seen the Fae folk dancing a dance in the meadow, that I would believe more than you saw a blue cloth. I bet my wife knows so much about historical fashion and clothing.
And time appropriate everything.
In which time period things were which way. If she heard me talking about this blue cloth, and she will when she listens to this episode, I'm gonna get yelled at. But it's all in good fun. Fucking Christ. The thing about this, the reason I bring it up, especially in relation to the shittification that's occurring now, and the whole angle of don't you see that this is going to end poorly? The reason I bring this up is because, Joe, you may not know this, but I don't like capitalism.
Yeah, I heard that before.
Yeah. See, what capitalism does is it takes the insane crisis that Cortez personally was in because he was in debt. It takes that insane crisis and it makes it permanent, unfixable by design, and it applies it to everyone, whether or not they opt in.
Yeah. And you yourself might not be in permanent crisis, but like there are ticking time bombs all around you.
Yeah. And like you might say, I don't think these crises are real, actually, but it doesn't matter because someone who does think they are real are creating real ones. For example, like why do corporations just decide to do shit that destroys the planet? Don't they know that that's bad? Surely they must know. Why do they do it?
Well, you're playing a different game. Like, you know in Euro games where, like, you can convert resources very inefficiently and it would be really stupid to do that? Mm-hmm. Like, that's all they're doing because they're not playing the game. The game is to get the little tokens for them.
Yeah, the game is, gosh, I would have liked to have done the efficient transfer of resources that you talked about, but in order to do that, I had to wait a couple of turns. The thing is, there's an insane crisis, so my hands are tied. I gotta do what's gonna get me the best short-term gain right now. I gotta do what's necessary ASAP. And yes, obviously we don't want to destroy the planet. Obviously we don't want that, but it's not even a choice we really have. It's out of our hands. I mean, and like the fucking proof of this is like shareholder value. Like you have to grow. If you are intentionally not doing everything you can to increase shareholder value,
yeah, they can remove you because you're not giving them the juice. Yeah, you have fiduciary responsibility.
You have to agree. Yes, there is an insane crisis. Yes, you're right. Yes, because this insane crisis is currently enveloping us, the only criteria in our decision making must be what will address the insane crisis the most today. And like, that's bad.
I mean, everything operates on financial quarters, which means decisions for long-term impacts to the planet or the environment are forced to be pushed out in 3 months and shittily and without really like planning, because there is no time for planning, because if you're planning, you're not responding to the crisis.
Yeah, a crisis does not allow plans. Planning is what you do in peacetime. You cannot have peacetime because there is an insane crisis occurring right now.
You can never have peacetime because the minimum wage is too high.
Yes. No one wants to work anymore. / also workers have too much power. I love how those
at the same time. Yeah, it's like there was just like editorials from like, I am a boss. I am so scared of my employee. He is so strong. Every day he comes in and says, give me a raise, and I have to.
So the thing that really makes me ill is all of this, actually. But there's an extra vector on top of this, because this fucking capitalism shit, that's been happening my whole life. The insane crisis and every decision being made to the detriment of society, to the gain of this quarter. That's old news. Who cares? What really makes me sick, and that I'm seeing a lot with this current AI / layoffs 1-2 punch, is your Gworovs, your homework-brained business freaks, the people who listen to business podcasts, the people who listen to Tim Ferriss and Jocko, the people who grind and get on that grind set and are really happy about startup culture. These fucking people, they don't see what's happening. Like, they don't even get it. Like a skull-faced corporate exec knows what they're doing. They know they're doing evil, but it's like, yeah, but we got to do it. We got to do it.
We are hoovering up works of all these artists to feed into a machine that will spit out works, and with no credit to the sources.
Yeah. They're like, but they know, like, yeah, we're doing an evil thing, but like, that's how it is.
This is stealing. Thumbs up. It's great.
The homework-brained business freaks, the thing that they do that makes my blood run cold, is they're like very cheerful. They're happy about it.
They are really the only like tech optimists anymore.
Yes.
And I mean, it just kind of shows them that they're dumb, I guess.
Yeah. Oh man, I can talk about how they're fucking dumb, dude. Here's why they're dumb. These fuckers, they don't know that there's an insane crisis. They don't know that these decisions are being made in deference to the insane crisis. They think this is just the way it is and smart decisions. Oh boy, I can't wait to see progress. Oh boy, so smart. And the reason why they're so dumb, and the reason why they're okay with the AI creating terrible content, is because these fuckers, the only way you get to become a homework-brained business freak and be rich is to play the stupid game. And the only way to play the stupid game without becoming ill and hating yourself is to completely sacrifice the spark of humanity we were all born with to the blood machine. The blood machine, which of course does nothing. It's scissors. But they see the blood machine and they hear like, if you sacrifice your soul to the blood machine and agree to dance to its little tune for the rest of your life, you will get money. And they said, oh boy, I'd love that. As a result, with no spark of human joy in their soul, they are incapable of understanding the purpose and value of art. Thus, when the AI says some shit that sucks and isn't good, they don't fucking care, dude. I mean, look at how writing on the internet is with humans. It's terrible. They made it bad on purpose. It's all SEO shit. It's all 2 paragraphs of the fucking headline rephrased 20 times before they actually get to the main part. And the main part also sucks because the writer didn't get any time to fucking research what they were supposed to talk about because they spent all their time doing keywords in the first 2 paragraphs. Like, that's already what is like being done by people. So when they see AI saying something that sucks also, why would they care? That's irrelevant to them. I would like to read some examples of the AI saying something stupid.
Yes. So far, my favorite output of the AI that I've seen is it can produce pictures with like women that have too many teeth and 10 fingers on each hand, and they're like holding a Solo cup, and it's just very scary.
Yeah, the Solo cup has a moving eye. This shit... You screen capped this. Some fucking blue check freak says a simple question to Chat GPT versus Google. Chat GPT produces a precise and concise answer. Google can do neither. The guy is trying to convert a 4:21 minute per kilometer running speed to minutes per mile. And he does that into the chat, OpenAI AI machine, and also Google. The AI thing says that, oh yeah, the equivalent pace is 6:52 minutes per mile. And Google, well, it doesn't say anything. It's just a bunch of links. Ugh. Which one do I click? So obviously it seems like the AI has scored a slam dunk. And then someone replies to the original poster saying, Chat GPT's answer is wrong. It should be 7 minutes per mile. And Joe, what is the response from the original poster?
Is it like, wow, we all learned something?
It's deep lesson in this.
Oh yeah, like this is the car that shits. He is excited about the output. It doesn't matter if it's good or not. He's just like excited at the concept, the abstract idea of progress.
deep lesson in this. Another fucking incredible AI response. Thank you to Martin Dubuque for finding this. I saw it but forgot to bookmark it. Someone asks the AI, why was 6 afraid of 7? AI responds, because 7, 8, 9. Patum tish. The guy then says, explain your answer. The punchline of the joke is a play on words. The number 6 sounds like the word afraid when spoken out loud. And the number 7... And the number 7... The number 7 sounds like the word 7. So the joke is asking why 6, afraid, is afraid of 7. 7. The punchline, because 7, 8, 9, is a reference to the numbers that come after 7, which is 8 and 9. So the joke is a pun on numbers and words. It sounds similar to numbers.
What they've made is an AI that can just like run its mouth and not know what it's talking about and fill time. Because like previously that was like a thing people had to do. Mm-hmm. But now you can learn that 6 sounds like the word afraid.
When spoken aloud, Joe. Not when you look at it.
Oh, okay.
It's like, yeah, like that's, I think you've hit the key, is that like all this shit can do really is fill time. And like one thing I'll give it this, the text generation AI, most of the sentences sound fine on their own. And if you're a dumbass, if you are a person with no humanity in your soul who has given that up, who has forever based your existence on the rules of the blood machine, something being bad doesn't fucking matter. Like, what is text for to them? It's some shit you need, I guess, to fill up space. And this can do that.
Text is something that needs a little help to be 10 times more entertaining.
Yes.
Or engaging was the word, sorry.
Yes, make it a Metaverse's experience and live the book. Sounds amazing. I hate this fucking shit. And these motherfuckers...
When someone says live the book, I know it could mean more than this, but all I can think of is you make your fucking setting in Minecraft and walk around.
Dude, oh my god. It's that.
It is
That's
that.
all it is.
And like... Wow.
Great. These fucking freaks. You know what's another thing that sucks? This isn't... I had no idea how I was going to make this part of it, and I still don't think it fits, but I just want to talk about this fucking guy. Because when we're talking about people not caring about what words mean and art and thought, I think of nothing so much as the fucking... Twitch fascist Aiden Ross, an evil child who
he has a lot of money, right?
Yes,
like he's got like all the money.
He's famously Andrew Tate worshiper, to the point where when they were doing an interview once and Andrew Tate got up, he went and sniffed the chair that he was sitting on. Andrew Tate is a big sex criminal who's currently in jail. Andrew Tate also had to fill out who was allowed to visit him, and the only non-family member he put on the list was Aiden Ross, because he knew that Aiden Ross was his boy. Anyway, Aiden Ross can't read. He is an illiterate man. Here is a famous video of him attempting to read the definition of fascism from the internet. I will play it now.
What does a fascist mean? It means you are a far right authorization on ultra analyst political ideology movement characterized by dictator leadership, centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition. So I don't know what that means, bro. I swear to God, I don't know what the fuck a fascism is. I don't know what the fuck that is. Benito Mazzulli and Giviante Gentile and Jason Stanley. Like, who the fuck are these people, bro? Never heard in my fucking life. What is an example of a fascist? Yo! All right, bro. See what I'm saying, chat?
He yelled out "yo" because he saw that an example of a fascist, in his words, was the Nazi Party, which he responds loudly to.
He recognizes them.
Yeah. To be clear, what he was trying to read was fascism is a far-right authoritarian ultranationalist political ideology and movement characterized by a dictatorial leader, centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition. So the thing about this guy is he can't read.
Ultranationalism was really funny. That was a real struggle.
Ultranationalist.
Because that sounds like you are like crazy about birth.
So the thing about this fucker, one, is that he seems to be streaming from, like, the Batcave, and it sure sounds like it, too. His audio sucks.
It's a very echoey room because everything is very shiny. Those are some nice floors.
He's an extremely dumb human. This is a guy who's never had a thought. He's never fucking... It's so clear why he would get duped into far-right manosphere shit, because there is no curiosity in his soul. He's one of these fucking homework freaks who just doesn't care, who just wants to play the fucking Blood Machines game, and nothing matters in the Blood Machines game other than what can I do to exploit. And the thing about this fucker is that he, as dumb as he is, has had probably something like 7 David Byrne's worth of impact on the world.
Yeah.
He's got like 7 million followers, dude.
Correct.
There's not been a Talking Heads album that sold 7 million copies, I guarantee you.
It's that's how I feel about discovering various streamers. I don't like really watch streaming, but it just seems like every few months there's like, oh, this is this person. Everyone ever believes everything they're saying. Yeah. One of my favorite examples of this was like someone took a picture of a cop in their car and they were streaming Vosh. Yeah, that was just, that to me sort of like encompasses like kind of like what we're doing here.
I hate it a lot. These people are so fucked. They're so like that. I mean, that's a real shittification. One, the education system and No Child Left Behind just being like, reading's not important. You don't need to learn how to read. You need to learn how to pass the test.
It's also pretty clear that like everything that's happening now with all the bigotry is also going to be used as a tip of the spear to just like undo public schools.
Oh yeah, yes, of course. Another one. You know, it's one thing about the AI shit that these grinning monsters keep saying that makes my blood boil. Is, and I don't know if this is kayfabe or not. I don't know if these homework-brained grinning freaks are doing kayfabe. If they actually do know what they're doing.
They often do that. Like it is just the metrics game. Like they will stake out a position that they don't agree with if it means bits. Is that the currency?
I'm not talking about streamers. I'm talking about just blue check business CEOs posting.
Oh.
Yeah. The streamers are definitely doing some kayfabe at least. They're literally performing. But like, I'm talking about like guys like Guarav and Deep Lesson here, man. Like who are getting excited about the possibilities of AI. Like I would hope that some of it is kayfabe, but honestly I doubt it because they really do seem very stupid. The thing that I hate when they say is when they say that AI generated art and text is good because it takes art back from the elite.
First of all, like the ultimate rhetorical move is to be elite and rage against the elite. You understand this, right? It's like a winning position. You can never be stopped. Yep. It is you're bulletproof, baby.
Yeah.
And it is such an obnoxious sentiment to just be like, as we know, art is inaccessible, just like all of it, and it's because it's only for the elite. Like, just to believe that at face value, like you're showing your ass. You are.
Yeah. I mean, like, first of all, like to me, the real thing that's staring me in the face is the shit that these bots are producing is not art. Like, it It's like you're talking about a different thing. You're talking about content. You're talking about some shit that fills space. It is not art.
It is an output.
Maybe one day it will be. I sure hope that day never fucking comes, but it is not art. Second, you fucking people have done everything in your power to ensure the artists are the opposite of elite. Case in point, all of the layoffs. All these decisions are made to grind artists into the ground because, as I said, these people have staked their souls on the supremacy of the blood machine system, on everything being about play the blood machines game is the only thing that matters. And if that is proven wrong, they lose the bet that they have put up, which is their entire lives and the purpose thereof. So they cannot allow that bet to fail. So an artist who operates outside of the schema they have bought into and does not do everything for the purposes of short-term gain and craven fucking number getting is a hateful being to them who must be stamped out of existence. See also fucking Food and Rent. Like that's art takes art back from the elite to the extent that art is given to the elite only. The reason is because those are the only fucking people who have the time to get good at it because everyone else has to spend their entire fucking life just surviving. You evil freaks. And
I love to read stories from the 70s where they're like, oh, I was an artist working in New York and I had a job delivering a single newspaper, and I lived in a 2,000 square foot loft.
Everything changed for me when I wrote 1,000 words for Harper's.
Yeah.
And then I became a millionaire.
That might as well be a dead civilization. I mean, that's how I feel about the L tracks on the train. I see the train go by, and I'm looking at the tracks underneath, and I'm like, that shit is over 100 years old. This is lost to us.
It is astonishing to me that any U.S. city ever built trains. You can be like, look at this decrepit subway station. What a shame that the city's not keeping it up.
It's like, holy fuck, it's here.
Yeah, like you telling me that this city at one point dug out a tunnel and put tracks in it? Like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, they did that? Did they know? Surely when they did that, they didn't like intend it to be that like a person could get on, like that, like a normal guy could get on there, right? Like, yeah, they meant it to be like no one could do it.
Well, their folly is our gain, yeah.
People will say like, oh, what a terrible sign this is. The fact that like a lot of Zoomers are getting into like denying the moon landing. The moon landing couldn't are you trying to tell me that was 1960s technology they got people to the moon? It sounds a little far-fetched. And like Helen Keller, they think Helen Keller is real. Like, you're telling me this girl was blind and deaf and they taught her stuff? Don't think so.
The moon landing like skepticism is like an established thing. I'm not saying I relate to it. The Helen Keller deniers is new to me.
Yeah. I mean, it is. They just think like, you telling me that people worked really hard to accomplish a very, very difficult thing for no monetary result, just to do it, just for the sake of the good that would have been done for it being accomplished? I don't think that's possible. And like, on one hand, it's like
look what's around you. Like, that is a pretty accurate assessment of how things happen. Like, you don't see things built. You don't see anything like that happen ever.
The only thing that gets built are big, ugly glass condos in the West Loop for
Yes.
the business freaks to move into. I mean,
Correct.
like, yeah, if you're a young person, you have two options when you're faced with these great achievements of the past. One is, no, they must be exaggerating because you can't actually achieve things that are great because of evidence.
And that's the right one, right? That's correct.
No. The other option is, no, they did achieve those things. We have just been the victims of centuries of intentional shittification that has made life worse. And it will never get better unless there is some sort of massive anti-shittification effort, which can't occur because that kind of thing would require a lot of long-term planning. And I don't know if you know this, but we can't afford to do any long-term planning on account of there's an insane crisis going on right now.
Yeah, man, oh man, the crisis is nuts. Doesn't just fill in whatever you want. Doesn't matter. It's a reason to value short-term gains over any sort of big picture thinking.
Yeah. The funny thing about this whole shittification with the AI and the layoffs is that, and another reason why the glee that these dopes have, the gleeful optimism they have is so sickening, is because, like, it really reads as, like, we sure hope this is the coup de grace that kills those meddlesome writers.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who think artists, like, charge too much and are uppity when they ask for things, like getting paid.
Yeah.
So they see this as a cudgel against them as well.
It's pretty fucked up. The thing is that's really... I don't know the word for it. I guess what I'm trying to say is all this shittification really does suck.
It's no good.
But we, you and me, Joe and Tom, have been pretty lucky so far in that none of it really has affected us. Like, we haven't gotten laid off. This isn't our sectors. And, like...
Yeah, our COVID trajectory was definitely not worse than the baseline. Like, I mean, I think we were both very fortunate.
Yeah, and, like, sure, it's bad that a lot of, like, shows are getting canceled when all the work is done for a tax write-off, and a lot of people, because of these cancellations, are losing their jobs. But, like, I don't know. These aren't shows I watch. Like, I don't fucking care about Mr. Bird's Big Adventure. That's not a show I watch, so I don't. It's fine by me.
Well, fortunately for you, an entire future of a medium hangs in the balance because of Mr. Bird.
Yeah, because that's how shittification works, folks. They pull the ceiling down behind them, and my head isn't getting bonked against it right now, so I think to myself, I'm sure I'm fine. But that just means that the next time they yank the ceiling down, and they will do it, because shittification must occur, because I don't know if you heard about this, but there's an insane crisis. The next time it happens, I'm just going to be sitting here trying to have a good time playing my games, watching my shows, but, like, they're going to fucking, like, they put AI in the Justin Roiland pedophile game. They put AI in the pedophile game and the domestic violence game. They put AI in the posters. And it's like, well, that's not a game I want to play. And the AI is only for some background posters, nothing important, but, like, I don't know. What about next time, huh? They're not going to do it less. Square Enix is still saying that they're going to put NFTs into Final Fantasy.
That's awesome. They really missed the timing on that. Almost as bad as Trump, man. That fucking NFT announcement was so good.
Speaking of Trump being funny, him going to Diamond's funeral of Diamond and Silk, that was a comedy gold mine.
So I really thought the big man had lost it. I did. But him complaining at the funeral about the funeral to everyone at the funeral,
especially saying that it was too long. Okay, it takes a genius of comedy to go to someone's funeral, get asked to do a eulogy because they respect you so much, and have the thing you talk about be, I really don't like how long this funeral is.
It's like peak old man move. And you know what's really funny? He did a violent coup, and it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. No, I always thought you were going to say the thing that was really funny. It's one thing to complain about the length of the funeral. It's another thing to, as part of that complaint, say that his expectations were that it would be 15 to 20 minutes. Like, he's like, I thought this funeral would be 15 minutes long. Which is like, oh my God. That's incredible. There was some other it was fucking Silk. So Diamond and Silk. I loved how one of the fucking funny thing was how he was like, Diamond, incredible woman. And would you believe it? There's another one.
Yeah, it's Jesus.
There's this other one called Silk. Could you believe it? I never knew her. I never met her till today. Never met her. And like she had just introduced him as like my good friend Donald Trump, who I've spent a lot of time with and who respects me a lot. And he's just like, would you believe there's a Silk part of this? I thought that was a metaphor.
Such a... So the theme of shittification, if I'm listening and hearing you right, is that things are going to get better real soon.
Yeah. Everyone's going to decide to do the right thing at the expense of their bottom line. Because isn't that what being alive is all about? Isn't that what society's for? Helping each other out? Yeah, we're going to leave this all... No, Joe, it sucks, and we're all fucked. I guess I'm just going to keep on going to work and eating my slop because, well, my back hurts too much for me to do direct action these days. Also, I don't have any martial skills. I put all my fucking points into podcasting like a dumbass.
Yeah. I still haven't spent my points. I don't know what I'm going to do with them.
You should put all your points into protect girls and MP attack.
Yeah, that's just true. I would like to use my skill, protect girls.
I hate it when girls die.
That's just like a perfect post. So I hate it when girls die. Like, yeah. I think for me, the whole point of online posting is like, how can you present the most nothing statement as like an insight?
Oh, Joe. I just realized how we can sum this all up. This is our ending point. This is our finishing point. Here's a deeply affecting shittification point. Not only is G-Chat worse now, it's bad. G-Chat is the lifeblood of this show. If Joe and I aren't chatting on G-Chat throughout the day, we can't think up sicko thoughts.
We're fucked.
So it's been very difficult to keep this show going even as G-Chat loses functionality and becomes more stupid. And Joe fucking hit on the reason why G-Chat is becoming more bad. It's because everything's being made into Slack now.
Yeah, because now it's Google Spaces to compete with Microsoft Teams, which is just to be Slack. Everything has to be a little cog trough. That's what Teams is. It's like your little fenced-in play area. And then you click and you talk in there. And the reason everything has to be like that is because currently those are the apps that everyone uses.
Yeah. Someone made a very bad app and like, oh shit, I smell an opportunity for shittification. Let's make it everything that bad app. And you know what's the proof that this app is quite bad? Joe told me about this shit, and I could not believe it. His work has a Slack channel that's just like hashtag death, like hashtag mortality.
It's not hashtag death. It's because it's a worldwide company, so there is an in memoriam channel, which I agree is not good. But the thing about the in memoriam channel that absolutely floors me is that there's just like 8 months ago, a guy like posted in there that was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to make it to the meeting. He just dropped a bunch of work-related thing in that channel.
What was it? Because someone
which is effectively a cemetery.
Jesus Christ. It's just so funny to me that like on the work Slack, it's like, hey everybody, I hope you're doing a good job working today, spending your few hours on Earth here at work, doing this instead of something you might care about. I just want to make sure that while you're doing that, you're reminded that you are in fact mortal and that this could all be taken away at any time. Anyway, Get back to it, freaks. Anyway, I've been Tom, an anime sicko.
I've been Joe, an anime sicko. I think I'm going to get back to it, as you said.
Yeah, nothing else to do. All right, bye-bye.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to Anime Sickos. I've been Tom, a sicko. You can follow me on Twitter at TomHarrison19. Joe is also a sicko. You can follow him on Twitter at ShariaUncle. You can follow Anime Sickos on Twitter at Anime Sickos, or email us at animesickos@gmail.com. Please leave us a review or something. I don't know. Tell a friend. Anyway, until next time, bye.